If you ask a German about typical traditional German brands and companies, he might name the German car industry, of course, with Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen and so on. He might also mention technology companies like Bosch, Siemens or Miele, and he most likely will also mention our traditional supermarket chains, and one of the most famous and traditional ones is definitely Aldi.
Many Germans, like me, might not even know it, but our traditional German grocery store brand, Aldi, which has existed for more than 100 years, is actually quite successful internationally, and especially also here in the United States of America.
Today, Aldi is the fastest growing grocery chain in the United States. There are around 2,350 stores across the country, with approximately 100 new locations opening annually over the past several years. By 2028, an additional 800 stores are planned. This growth defies the prevailing trend. In the US, where the retail sector has recently seen job cuts, Aldi is planning to hire 13,000 new employees in the coming years. Estimates suggest that Aldi's US revenue has long surpassed its home market in Germany.
This, of course, raises one question. Why? Why is Aldi so successful in the United States? What does our German traditional brand obviously do better than others? And what is also quite interesting, why is Aldi, at least currently, more successful in the United States than its direct German competitor, Lidl? You see, there's a lot to talk about, and we're going to do that now. But before we take a closer look at Aldi in the United States, let's first take a look at how Aldi is doing internationally in general, because that is quite interesting. The success of the company outside of Germany is actually not a given.
There is one thing that people outside of Germany might not know, but the brand Aldi actually consists of two companies, Aldi North and Aldi South. The family-run company split up in the 1960s, and since that day, Aldi North operates in the northern part of Germany, while Aldi South operates in the southern part. And both companies also operate very differently when it comes to international markets. Aldi North is present in 8 countries with a total of 5,300 stores, including France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Poland, Portugal and Spain. The US is a unique case, but more on that later. Aldi South, on the other hand, operates in 10 additional countries besides Germany, such as Austria, Switzerland, Slovenia, Hungary, Ireland, the UK, Australia, Italy, the US and even China, where they run 22 stores. Aldi South claims to operate over 7,000 stores worldwide. Interestingly, Aldi doesn't always operate under its German name abroad. In Austria and Slovenia, for instance, it's known as Hofer. This dates back to 1967, when Aldi South entered the Austrian market by acquiring the existing Hofer chain instead of establishing its own stores. This was also Aldi South's first step toward international expansion. Aldi North followed a few years later by entering the Netherlands. To avoid direct competition, the sister companies carefully avoid operating in the same international markets. The United States are, again, an exception. More on that in a moment. Today, Aldi is one of the largest grocery retailers in the world in terms of store count and revenue, but as I mentioned earlier, Aldi's journey hasn't always been smooth. A prime example is Germany's neighboring country, Denmark, where the chain exited the market in 2022 and 2023 after 45 years, selling most of its stores to competitors. According to media reports, the losses in Denmark had been much too high for years. Nearly 46 million in 2021 alone, the year before the exit was announced. Aldi South had a similar, though much shorter experience in Greece. The company opened stores there in 2008 2008, only to exit 2 years later. 38 stores were sold to competitors because the market entry wasn't promising enough.
Here in the United States, Aldi has not experienced such a flop. Actually, it's quite the contrary. Here in the US, the company is very successful, and when I say the company, I actually mean both companies, Aldi South and Aldi North.
Aldi South began building stores in the US in 1976, opening its first location in Iowa under the name Aldi. From there, the chain expanded throughout the Midwest and East Coast, always under the name Aldi. Aldi North, meanwhile, took a different approach. In 1979, it acquired the California-based supermarket chain Trader Joe's, which now operates 600 stores, mainly in California, New York and Florida. But especially Aldi South is aggressively pushing forward with its expansion. According to real estate agency JLL, no other supermarket chain in the US is currently growing as fast. Over the past few years, an average of 100 stores have opened annually. By the end of 2028, the pace is expected to accelerate further, with 800 more stores planned, either through new openings or acquisitions. This expansion isn't cheap. Aldi South is reportedly investing around 9 billion euros to make it happen.
Okay, that's the situation with Aldi in the United States. And now I would say, let's try to answer the question, why this company is so successful here. Well, and I think the best way to find out is to go in there. I've never been to a US Aldi store before. I'm really excited. Yeah, let's go in there and let's see what we will find there.
Well, the big culture shock doesn't happen when you step into a US Aldi as a German. There are some different products that I've never seen back home, but the concept of the store itself is actually quite the same. The shop is small, compact, easy to navigate, and everything is set up for practicality. Nothing is staged to look pretty, there are no decorations, and most products stay in their packaging, like you see here, the drinks for example. And well, all of that is actually also the secret to success. In Germany, a concept has been established for decades that separates grocery stores into supermarkets and so-called discount stores. In supermarkets, you get all the top brand products and a wide range of them, like at Target or Walmart in the US, for example. And the discount stores have a very different minimalized concept, which you also find here in the Aldi stores in the United States. Aldi shops typically have a sales area of just 1,000 to 2,000 square meters. Compared to competitors in the United States, that's tiny. This allows Aldi to save significantly on property, construction or rental costs, as well as operational expenses like energy costs. Around 90% of Aldi products are private label brands, which are much cheaper to sell. When it comes to labor costs, Aldi is also surprisingly efficient by US standards. For example, as we've already seen, many products are left on pallets or remain in the packaging they were transported in. This eliminates the need for employees to stock shelves item by item, saving both time and money. Even the shopping cart system is quite unique for the United States. There are no employees collecting carts from the parking lot. Instead, customers insert a coin to use a cart and must return it to get their coin back, a concept we know in Germany for decades. All of that together also makes the prices of the products sold by Aldi quite cheap. There is plenty of evidence suggesting that especially inflation over the past few years has been a major driver of Aldi's success in the United States. If you do your casual weekend shopping, you pay much less than you would at a big American supermarket with a wide range of products, a circumstance that triggers a real boom for Aldi. But also the fact that Aldi is so small and minimalized seems to be increasingly appealing to Americans. This can be explained psychologically. People naturally prefer the path of least resistance, and Aldi offers just that. You don't have to navigate a sprawling shopping maze, compare prices and agonize over decisions like you would at Walmart or Target, for example. No, you can just walk in, see a small selection, and everything is reasonably priced. Some analyses and essays on the topic speculate that the recent boom might also have to do with our increasingly complex world, which can feel overwhelming. At least when it comes to shopping, people can keep it simple these days, and that's where Aldi comes in.
This overall concept that we Germans already know for many, many decades obviously also convinced the Americans, particularly in recent years in times of rising prices. And well, then there is another quite unique selling point that Aldi has. It exists in Germany, but also in the US, and the Americans also have a word for it, the Aisle of Shame.
There is a small section in Aldi stores called Aldi Finds. Here you can find all sorts of bargains at extremely low prices, but they are available for a limited time. For example, there are plush toys, fan heaters, decorative items, party supplies, and wellness products. This shelf has gained real cult status in the US. On a Facebook page with 3.4 million members, customers proudly share their finds and chat about them. According to a report by Business Insider, these products now account for around 20% of Aldi's sales worldwide.
With this combination of low prices, compactness and always surprising bargains, Aldi has not only stolen customers from typical established American supermarket chains, it is also more successful than its direct German competitor Lidl, which also has branches here in the United States.
As the newspaper Handelsblatt reports, Lidl, which is part of the German Schwarz Group, has struggled to expand in the US. Some locations have even closed and jobs have been cut. There are several reasons for this. One branding expert told Handelsblatt that Lidl's choice of locations has been a major issue. The chain has focused on the affluent East Coast, where rents are high and competition is fierce. Additionally, the stores are too large, often in poorly chosen areas like industrial zones, and the product range doesn't fully align with American preferences. Lidl is now working to address these issues, including revamping its US branding. But there's an even more obvious reason. Lidl began its US expansion in 2017, while Aldi has been in the US for decades. Aldi had the advantage of testing its concept for the average American customer in Iowa for years without much competition. A clear edge, as we're now seeing.
However, there is one thing that needs to be mentioned. Even though Aldi is quite successful and is growing fast, it still doesn't play a very big role here in the United States. Its share of food sales in recent years was at around 2 or 3%. Walmart was at around 25%. Yes, right.
However, the potential for Aldi in the US is enormous. It's already one of the company's most important markets alongside Germany and the United Kingdom. And many analysts believe that this won't change even after Donald Trump's return to office. In fact, according to the Manager magazine, Trump's policies could actually accelerate Aldi's growth. Trump has announced various tariffs, which could drive up inflation as importers pass higher costs on to customers. The more expensive food becomes at Walmart, Kroger, Target and similar stores, the more Aldi could benefit. However, Manager magazine also notes that Aldi would need to carefully manage its supply chains if tariffs were increased. Trump's calls for lower interest rates could also fuel inflation, leading to higher rents and food prices. And even though it is still unclear what Trump's second term will mean for the United States in the coming years, one thing seems relatively certain. Trump's re-election could become a key factor in Aldi's continued success story. So here we are back in the hotel. That was a very rainy day. Yeah, but now I'm back. And well, that was my video about the success story of Aldi in the United States. And if you don't like success stories, then I don't know why you watched this video, but anyway, if you don't like success stories, I have another video for you, and it's the story why Walmart, the American supermarket brand, failed in my home country, Germany. Yeah, it's also quite interesting, and if you're interested in that, then click the video which I linked above and also below in the video description. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. You can also hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss any upcoming video. And if you'd like to support me and my work, you can also do that, for example, on Patreon. There's a link down in the description, and you can also become a channel member on my YouTube channel. Then you will get exclusive stuff and new videos before everyone else, so you should check that out. Yeah, that's it for today. Have a safe journey. See you next time. Bye bye.